Rolls-Royce have signed a contract to build a nuclear reactor in Wales. In my first video, I talked about why this is not great energy policy and how the local government in Wales had come up with a number of clean solutions that did not require nuclear waste. Now I want to get into the money. The Rolls-Royce subsidiary, the company that signed the contract, has 4 investors. The first one is Rolls-Royce Holdings itself, BNF Resources, which is a French investment firm, Qatar Investment Authority, and they own 10% of this nuclear energy company. Think about that for a second. Qatar paid £85 million for a stake in a nuclear technology company. If this company fails, Britain stays dependent on gas that Qatar sells. But if we look at Rolls-Royce Holdings, who have a 56% majority share in this subsidiary, we see that they themselves are owned by a number of institutional investors. No single shareholder has a majority at Rolls-Royce. Both BlackRock and Vanguard told a UK parliamentary inquiry in 2022 that they would not quit fossil fuel investments, and they do not accept that climate commitments require an end to new coal, oil or gas development. BlackRock manages $11 trillion and it votes on AGMs. It sends engagement letters to the management of these companies. It sits on corporate governance committees. Between 2015 and 2019, it actively opposed or abstained on over 80% of climate-related shareholder motions. That is BlackRock's political decision to not believe in climate science, and it expresses that opinion through the largest block of votes in the world. Its incentive is not for any one of those firms to outcompete another. Its incentive is for the whole sector to generate what it considers stable returns. That means they want high margins, low costs, government guaranteed contracts, and no disruptive innovation that might undercut the existing portfolio. For them, nuclear is ideal. It is what they call capital intensive, aka expensive. It is slow, it is state backed, it is protected from competition by the regulatory complexity, guaranteed to generate revenues for these companies for the next 60 years, backed by HM Treasury. Wind and solar, in contrast, do the opposite. They are fast, cheap, modular, commoditizing, decentralized, and structurally deflationary for energy prices. Cheap energy is bad for BlackRock's energy portfolio. This is a very dangerous nuclear ghost ship. No individual investor makes a decision. No board member at BlackRock makes a decision. Nobody at Vanguard decided that nuclear was best for Wales. The incentive is baked into the geometry of their portfolio. Texas and 10 other US states are currently suing BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street for using this common ownership structure to coordinate the reduction in outputs of coal companies. While a reduction in the output of coal companies sounds like good news, it is not okay that BlackRock and Vanguard were able to do that. The lawsuit is about the mechanism, not the closure of coal plants. And it's exactly the same mechanism as what's happening in the UK. The structural power that they used to suppress coal outputs in the United States is also being used to suppress renewable energy adoption in Europe and the United States. The point of this lawsuit is that they should not have that power. Either way, BlackRock is headquartered in New York. Vanguard is headquartered in Pennsylvania. Capital Research and Management is headquartered in Los Angeles. Between them, they own over 20% of Rolls-Royce, a pride of British company. It is business people in New York City who are focused only on their stable returns, who are building British nuclear infrastructure on British land, producing waste that will sit on a Welsh island for a timeline longer than recorded civilization. Half of them probably don't even know that Wilva exists. They don't care what happens to the waste or the British grid. They will collect dividends and share price appreciation regardless. This is the colonial structure of global finance being applied to British infrastructure. It is guaranteed British public money, treasury-backed returns on a politically captured procurement program. It is inefficient, it is dangerous, it is unnecessary, it is grossly overpriced, it is short-sighted, and structurally Nobody is responsible for it. When something goes wrong here, whether that's cost overrun, design failure, waste leak, or bankruptcy, there is no person at the end of this chain who answers for that. It's just this legal structure. Legal structures do not remediate contaminated land. The British taxpayer does, so you'll be billed again. Every pound committed to Wilva is a pound not being spent on upgrading the grid, not being spent on insulating homes, not being spent on building the tidal or floating wind infrastructure that could be generating clean power by 2030. The smart grid investment that would actually make renewables reliable has not happened because it does not make anyone a billionaire. If Britain is lucky, Wilva might deliver power by 2037. If it delivers on time and on budget, then the shareholders profit. If it overruns, like every other British nuclear project in living memory, the downside is socialised. The government pays again. And it will have wasted 11 years burning Qatari gas in the meantime.